We here at Family Geekery love puzzles, especially when they're themed like these Disney portraits from the stretching room of the Haunted Mansion. We love putting them together, and every now and then when it's something like this that's just a fantastic puzzle, sometimes we'll frame them up and hang them on the wall. But before you can do that, you need to make sure that you can kind of save them. And for years and years we used some puzzle glue, and that stuff was just disgusting. It was a bad process. So we found these guys, No Stress, No Mess Puzzle Saver, and we've been using them ever since. And today I'm going to show you how easy these are and how you'll never buy puzzle glue again. Hey everybody, it's Chris from Family Geekery, and like I said, today we are going to be showing you guys these No Stress, No Mess Puzzle Savers, and they're basically like sticker sheets that we're going to use to affix all the pieces of the puzzle together. Now sometimes we do puzzles, we take them apart, put them back in the box, and we save them for later. But like I said, sometimes we like to put these up on the wall, and this is a great way to do it. If you were to look in my Amazon order history, I've ordered more of these than any other single item. So I thought this is a good time to show you guys what they are, how easy they are, and how you'll never need to use a different way to make your puzzles permanent ever again. So let's start off. The first step we need to do is we need to flip this thing over, and that's quite honestly probably the hardest step of them all. So I'm going to grab a couple pieces of flat board, like poster board, and I'm going to put this on top, flip it over, and then we'll get started getting ready for the sticker sheets. Alright, so I grabbed a piece of poster board, make sure it's obviously bigger than your puzzle, and I just put this at the edge of the table and slid the puzzle over onto it. Now it's a little bit harder with this type of table that's got grooves and tile and stuff, and I do suggest that you do this with two people. I just did it with one, and that's why I didn't film it, because it was quite ugly and it was touch and go and I could have lost the whole thing, but I got it on there. Had to fix a couple pieces here and there, but with two people it's a lot easier. One person to hold the board nice and steady and still, and one person to slowly use like both hands and just slide it onto that. And if you can kind of keep your hand flat on it, it keeps the pieces from bubbling up and kind of crumpling and stuff. So we got it on here. That was the hardest part. The next part's going to be easy. I'm going to grab that other, that's just a backing board from a big frame. I'm going to slap it on top like a sandwich, and then just flip the whole thing over. Alright, now that's flipped over, you do want to make sure that you kind of smooth it all out, make sure any pieces aren't bubbling up or anything. Flatten it all out nice. You want to kind of brush any dirt or hair or dust or whatever that you may see on there, just to get it all prepped up and ready, just to make sure there wasn't any, if there was like some dirt or something on this that would be pushing it up, then you want to kind of move it around and get that, whatever that is, out. And we just lost power. Alright, we're back, and I promise you those weren't sound effects to make it more eerie and spooky like the theme that we got going with the Haunted Mansion posters here, but this was a real thunderstorm and lost power, but it's back now. So where was I? So we flip the thing over, make sure it's all clean, make sure it's all flat. The next thing we need to do is start preparing our sticker sheets. So there's instructions in there to show you how to do it, but there's also some tricks to the trade. Now each of these are like 7 inches by 7 inches, and they come together, these particular ones come together 2 perforated together, and I always just separate them. But the first thing we need to do is figure out how many of these we're going to need, because we want a little bit of overlap on them. So we need to find out how many go this way, and then 7 inches is going to be enough to go all the way across, because this is a 9-inch wide puzzle. So what I do is I just cut one into strips to cover up the areas that we're going to miss. Now you can do that with scissors if you got a real steady hand, but I just go ahead and use one of these. That way I know it's going to be the right width, I know it's going to be straight, and these things are cheap. You can get them at Walmart or at the craft store or even at Amazon if you want. And so I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of these, get them in place, and then cut the strips. Alright, so I got my 4 sheets, and then I cut up 4 strips to make up the difference. And the instructions on these guys have this little perforated section right here that you can actually peel off and have one exposed strip of adhesive, and then you can measure that and put it down where you want, and then you can peel up the rest of it and do it that way. You can do that, or if you feel confident, you can just go ahead and peel the whole thing off and line it up and stick it down. They show to use a squeegee. I haven't had to use a squeegee on any of these. I just kind of smooth it with my hand. So I'm gonna put these down starting at one corner and get the first one down, and then you could just go on this one. We could just go straight up, and you overlap about a 1/2 inch or an 1/8 inch every time you lay one down. And we could just go straight up and then do the strips, but I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna stagger them for no particular reason, just to do it, and then I'll put the extra strips that we cut staggered also. So let's go ahead and get some of these down. Now if you follow the instructions and you put the one strip down, you can either peel it from back underneath here and peel it up, or you can grab it from the top here and peel it down. Either way, at some point you're going to be pulling up a little bit on this, and just make sure, see how the puzzle's starting to separate a little bit. Make sure before you stick the adhesive down that you go ahead and you flatten all this out, and you make sure there's no bumps. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to get this guy all the way separated, and then we're just going to lay down the sticky side. So make sure it's nice and flat. Lay it down, smooth it out. And the first piece is done. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of them down, and then I'll show you a finished product. Alright, and that is it. We got it all taped up on the bottom. This kit also comes with some little adhesive little hangers that you can put on here and hang this up on the wall just by itself. We're probably going to find a frame for this and see if we can get all 4 of them up into our room that we get some Disney memorabilia in. But now that this is all done, it makes it a lot easier to carry a puzzle around the house. Now you can just pick it up, and it stays together pretty well. Now I would let that sit for overnight to let it kind of fully adhere to the sticky back to that. But now it's done, and you don't have to worry about the when we used the glue before. No matter how hard you try, some would drip over the edge, and then the cardboard would get stuck to whatever you're doing it on, the newspaper or a piece of cardboard or something, and you end up tearing pieces of it. This is just easy, and like I said, we've used it several times. So this particular kit here, it says it comes with enough pieces to do 2 1,000 piece puzzles. Now that's obviously dependent on how big the puzzles are, because if the puzzle pieces are really small, then of course the puzzle is going to be smaller. If the puzzle pieces are bigger, then you're going to have more inches left to write. So I would do a little bit of quick math to see. We know that there's I think 12 pieces in here, and it's 7 by 7 each. So just use that to make sure you have enough pieces. But 2,000 piece puzzles, I think we've got plenty in this box to do all 4 of these particular puzzles here, and they're going to turn out great. So that is going to wrap it up for this video. Just wanted to share some tips with you guys about how we put our puzzles together here. We started doing these as a family. Obviously we've been doing puzzles for a long time, but really started doing a lot more during COVID, during the lockdown and stuff. And we've just kind of continued the tradition. Throw one on the dinner table every now and then, and jump in and throw some pieces together. So this is fun. This is a nice, easy way to get them back together. So if you're interested in these things, I'll throw a link down in the description below. You can grab those, like I said, on Amazon. And like I said, that's going to wrap it up. So thank you for watching. If you like this, then go ahead and like it. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. But until next time, peace out and geek out.